Greetings and welcome to the channel. My name is Dr. Gyesie, transformational coach here at Inner Mileage, where we help folks deeply understand themselves so they can get past their illusions and live resonant lives right here, right now. Today we're going to talk about the supreme intelligence of awareness and how it can help empaths break free from narcissistic control. The supreme intelligence of awareness and how it can help empaths break free from narcissistic control. So here it is. If you've been on this planet for the last few centuries, you know that it's largely been optimized where the focus is on thought. And we've been lied to. Because for centuries we've been told that thought is the highest form of intelligence. That the mind is king. That logic and rationality define who we are, the age of enlightenment. But what if I told you that thought is merely a shadow cast by a greater light? The real power is not thought, it is awareness. And today I'm going to show you why this is the most dangerous secret, one that narcissists, toxic systems, and even mainstream society have worked to keep hidden from you. So let's go into it. Thought is a tool, whereas awareness is reality. Thought is a process. Awareness is the source. Thought can only operate within what it already knows, whereas awareness is infinite. Do you see? So thought relies on the past, history, whereas awareness in the present contains the past, the present, and the future. Although the past is a condition and the future an illusion. The real engagement with reality happens in the present with awareness. Now, let's talk about the limitations of thought, particularly from an academic perspective. So in neuroscience, cognitive scientists have studied embodied cognition that has proved that the brain doesn't think in isolation. It requires interaction with the world and the body. Therefore, your thoughts are not reality. They are simulations based on past experiences. In fact, one of my favorite neuroscientists, because of his appreciation of the spiritual world, Dr. Francisco Varela, introduced the concept of enaction, proving that intelligence is not in the brain. It emerges from embodied awareness interacting with life itself. This means empaths stop living in your head. Stop living in your head. Your real intelligence is in your awareness of the present moment. That's where your real intelligence is. And to give you some additional proof of this, in mystical Islam or Islamic mysticism, known as Sufism, knowledge is not from the mind. It comes from basira, which is the eye of the heart. Rumi, the famous poet, often would say, close the eyes of the mind so the soul may see. Close the eyes of the mind so the soul may see. This is why narcissists attack your emotions and intuition, because that's where your real awareness lives. So how does awareness lead to enlightenment? Is this a real thing? What's behind it? Well, let's explore it together. Narcissists don't want you to be aware, because once you're aware, you become smart. And once you're smart, you realize that you are caught in a spiritual spell, in spiritual slavery in the hell realm, which is the domain of the narcissist. The narcissists want you trapped in thoughts and loops of self-doubt, of shame, and of, famously said, analysis paralysis. Why? Because when you become aware, you set yourself free. Let's go into it a bit more. In Hermeticism, which I really love, and in the famous book, The Kybalion, it says that the principle of mentalism means all is mind. But what is often left out is that low-level thought is a trap. The Hermeticists from ancient Egypt taught that the lowest form of mind is discursive thought, or your habitual thoughts, like the monkey mind, right? Or the program mind. Whereas the highest form of mind is silent, present, direct awareness. silent, present, direct awareness. And to go even deeper into the spiritual realm, let me go in Vajrayana Buddhism, specifically what's often called Tibetan Buddhism. In the Bado Todol, which is the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which I have somewhere, thought is described as the main cause of rebirth into suffering. When you die, if you follow your thoughts and fears, you reincarnate into another illusion. Why? Because your thoughts are based on historical memories, conditions, programming, which distort your ability to see things as they are. The essayist Anais Nin or Anai Nin often would say, you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are, implying that there's a difference between seeing the world as you are and seeing as it is. Because seeing the world as you are is to see the world through the lens and filter of your conditioning, your past, your histories, your preferences. Therefore, you don't see the whole, you see a part of it, which is not leveraging the full intelligence available to you. But when you've come into relationship with your conditioning and have transcended that, you realize you're not your conditioning. Therefore, you have the ability to see things as they are, not from the perspective of your preferences, but without judgment, as Jiddu Krishnamurti would often say, as it is. And when you're able to do that, you begin to see things you otherwise would have missed because you are now using your full intelligence. For example, you begin to realize the truth of your spiritual servitude in narcissistic abuse, which is the exact reason why it's designed to keep you trapped. Because if you remain in pure awareness, as the Tibetans would say, you attain liberation. So empaths, do you see what this means? Your suffering in narcissistic relationships is a spiritual test, or your suffering in narcissistic relationships in the past was a spiritual test and initiation. And the more you got lost in thought, analyzing, blaming yourself, and obsessing, the more you stay trapped. But the moment you shifted into awareness, or you shift into awareness if you're still in it, is how you break the spell. And of course, breaking that spell is a painful process. And so the question becomes, how do you reclaim awareness from narcissistic abuse after you've escaped narcissistic abuse? Well, the first thing to realize is stillness is your superpower. So narcissists thrive on making you react. They do. The more you react, the more you give them supply, the more they control you. Conversely, the more still you become, the more you regain awareness and become unbothered, the less they can control you. In Taoism, this is called Wu Wei, effortless action. You win not by fighting, but by refusing to engage at all. You see? Then the second is the power of non-identification. In other words, although you cannot stop your mind from running thoughts, you can stop identifying with them. So when your mind says, I'm not good enough, your awareness realizes that that is a passing thought. And you become the observer rather than the believer. When you become the observer of what's rising and falling, what is naturally occurring, you begin to regain freedom. In fact, one of my favorite spiritual leaders, so a Vedanta master, Advaita Vedanta master called Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, often said, you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. So when you disrupt the narcissist reality spell because they need you to believe them, and you begin to question your awareness after they've gaslit you, this is how their power crumbles. So empaths, listen to this. The battle is not against narcissists. The battle is against your own lost awareness. And if it sounds like you, type transform in the comment section or send me a message and let me know how you relate to this. Narcissistic abuse is a test, was a test. Thoughts will keep you trapped. Awareness sets you free. So drop into your stillness, detach from thought, walk away from the mind games, and remember, awareness is the highest form of intelligence. It's your birthright, and no one can take it away from you. If you want to learn more, this resonates, remember to hit the notification bell, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and recognize there's no one like you once you come into our awareness, because that's what you are, pure consciousness.